Awesome. So you have your own website. You're officially on your way to getting your own website fully fledged and becoming legitimate. What I'm going to show you now is what the builder looks like. So here you can see here at the top it says builder because that's where we are at the moment. It's in the builder profile. Here on the left hand side you'll see that it says pages on the first one, and there you can create different pages and pop-ups if you have something in there. All your pages that you're going to create during this course will all be in your pages. It'll all be in here. If you want to move stuff around, you'll do it from here. If you want to change some settings, you're going to do everything that has to do with pages or pop-ups will go in here. Next up, we call them widgets. So you have basic widgets, you have lead generation widgets. So effectively how this is going to work and how the terminology goes is you'll drag a widget onto your page. So if you want some text in here or if you want a headline in here, you're going to drag the text or the headline widget and you're going to drop it in here and you'll be able to edit it. Next up, we have the global styling. You've heard of me talk about this a little bit earlier. So global styling, that's your text styling, your fonts, your color palette, and then your website layout. So you'll see inside the color palette is the blue that we just chose before we got to, after we chose our template, before we got to the builder. So that's the global styling. That's for everything. So what the benefits are of uploading your fonts or using the fonts in here, setting that up, is whenever you create a new page, it's going to grab all of this information. So it's best to set up your color palette and to set up your fonts and your text styling for. Your text styling would be for the different headlines that you'll use, for the different text, for quotes, what your color links are when your mouse hovers over text links, what that looks like. It just helps it. It makes it a ton easier. It helps a ton. There we go. It helps a ton while you're creating new pages. Instead of having to go back and change everything every time, you can just, it'll set up your template. Next up, we have steps, which we're only going to use inside your funnels, so you don't need to worry about it with this at all. Next up is your website settings. So in here, you'll have your custom codes. So if you have any tracking codes, it'll go in there. If you have your page SEOs, which we're definitely going to get into a little bit later on, that's going to go in there. Your file manager, if you upload any logos, if you use any images, if you have any PDFs that you would like people to download, that's all going to go into the file manager, which we'll definitely get to a lot. Then you have your domains. Sorry, the one that it was on is your general. So here you see your fave icon. Now, most people don't know what the fave icon is. It's short for your favorite icon, and it's that little blue block that you see right there, right next to website. That's your fave icon. So you can upload that in here. And then your social sharing image. So if you type your URL, if you post that into either Facebook or WhatsApp or something like that, there's usually an image that pops up. That's where your social image is. And that's the one that it is. So you'll have a different one for each page that you can upload in there. Then we have domains. So if you would like to connect your custom domain, you're going to do that in here. I'll show you how to do that. Your language and time. So you can choose the language of your newfound website, newly developed website. You can choose the timeline, and then you can choose the date format as well. Followed by your cookies and privacy. So here you can have, if you're in one of the countries who have GDPR or something like that, you can switch this on, which will give you a cookie announcement so people can accept cookies. If you're not in one of those countries, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Next up, we have applications. So let's disregard that. We have applications. This is where you're going to connect ActiveCampaign and other platforms that need to connect with your website or with your funnel. It's going to be in here. So here's all the different ones. If they ask you for an API, you can grab it from there. Don't worry about this too much. Like I said, we are going to cover this. This is just a general tour of what it looks like. Next up, we have personalization. Unless you're running a membership site, I wouldn't worry about this too much. There's a couple of other use cases for it, but generally, don't worry about it too much. At the stage where you are at the moment, you're really not going to use it all that much, and that goes for the URL redirects as well. I wouldn't worry about it too much. You're most probably not going to do it that much. Then for the rest of it, if you want to preview what this looks like, you can hit preview there, and you'll see it's the same frame that you had when you previewed your template. So you can also go and look what it would look like on a tablet and what it would look like on a phone. Obviously, mine looks like nothing at the moment because it is nothing at the moment. If you do want to see what it will look like, or if you do want to share your website with one of your friends, you can grab that URL because your website would be live on that URL. So if you copy this and you paste it through to a brand new tab, you'll see that it opens up the website that's there. So it's already live on there if you do want to share it with someone, so you want to get their advice or their opinion on stuff. Awesome. So that's everything here in the menu on the left-hand side. Next up, let's quickly talk about your store. Let's leave this. You'll see that your store, it's usually disabled. You have to enable it for you to add different products to it and for you to do a lot of different things. If you don't need the store right now, don't worry about it. You're just not going to click on that specific tab. Then you can go through. We're going to go in depth. We're going to go in depth on the store and all of that inside of that section. I just wanted to show you where it is and some of the options that you have in here and what it looks like. Then you have contacts. So anyone that opts into anything, any form inside of your website will automatically be stored in here as well, as long as you don't use an embed form. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later on. And then lastly, you have your booking section. So in here, you'll be able to create booking events with different schedules, with different operators, and then also different services that you might offer. There's a host of things that come with this. Don't worry about this too much. This is just a tour. I'm showing you the house so that when you start building, you know exactly where everything is. That's it for the tour section. Next up, let's go into a little bit more. Cheers.